I'm tired.
Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Cornix, and welcome to YACC, yet another Crowcast, where I pick a game, I play it for a week, and then I talk about it. This week's game is Super Mario 64 for the Nintendo 64, and there will be spoilers up ahead, just so you know. So I got this as a Christmas present, or rather me and my brother got it. We got a Nintendo 64, GoldenEye, and Super Mario 64, and I think that it was a launch title, basically. So yeah, this game is about Mario receiving an invitation to go to Peach's castle and basically have some cake that she made for him. But when arriving there, you realize soon that Princess Peach has been kidnapped by Bowser yet again, no surprise. And in order to get to the final boss room where Bowser is, you need to collect stars. So you jump into these kind of paintings and you collect stars. So you have the first level that you don't require any specific criteria is a bomb battlefield. So you jump into this painting of a bomb, and it's basically a battlefield, but in a Super Mario setting, I guess. So each course or level has 6 stars that you collect, and 1 extra for getting 100 coins in that stage. So all of these stages have one thing in common: you can collect 8 red coins to get 1 of these stars. That's a common thread. And basically you get a little vague description of just that star which you're about to collect, where it might be. And then the second stage that requires some stars to actually lock up the door is the Twimp Fortress, which is basically a floating fortress in the middle of the sky with a big thump, kind of one of those blocky kind of characters just want to squish Mario. And this is one of those stages where I realized that one of the stars you're supposed to ride with an owl. He lifts you up. You kind of go plummet down, or you drop down in a cage. But I found out if you climb up the tower, you can actually do a long jump and actually land in the cage, which I figured out make that distance, and I did try it. And then we have Jolly Roger's Bay, which houses one of the more nemesis characters of this game, well, my nemesis. So I have this phobia of deep unknown waters, and when I was a little kid I got scared because there's this sunken ship in this Jolly Roger's Bay, and in that one of the holes in the ship is a big eel, and it's a red brownish eel with big scary eyes. And as a kid I was so scared, and you're supposed to draw this eel out so you can find the sunken treasures inside the ship. I mean, it's like the Subnautica version on 64, I guess, with the Leviathan. And then you have Cool Mountains, which is another course. And then you have like this penguin sled. You go down through a chimney and you slide down, and you win a star basically by getting ahead of a penguin. And another penguin related matter on this stage is bringing a lost little penguin to his mom and receiving a star for that. But you also have hidden stars in this game, and I won't go through all of the game, but just the basic level. You have these kind of called castle stars, or secret castle stars, which are hidden. So one of the rooms you enter there are these glass windows with Peach on them, and one of them you can actually jump into. It's like a hidden slide level. You can get 2 stars in this one, either by just finishing it, getting to the finish line, and the other one just beating like 20 minutes, or I think you can have like 20.9 minutes, but unless it doesn't tick over to 21, it's fine. And then there are other power-ups in this game, and one of them is actually on the cover of the box, the European box. So there's the wing cap, and when you collect a certain amount of stars, they will pop up a message, like I think it's 8 or 10. They will pop up a message saying like, you should go check out the center room because some light is glowing down, and that's all right. You kind of get down to the staircase, the first staircase, and there's this light, the beam of light shines down, and if you stand in front of it and look up, you enter one of the secret stars levels, I guess, and you can trigger the wing cap, which is when you have the wing cap on, you can do this triple jump, and the third jump sends you up in the air so you can fly. But these caps that you collect, they're limited time use, so it's on a timer. So you can be flying in the air and the cap starts blinking and go, okay, I'm just gonna fall to my death. And then there's some other secret caps which you can collect. The metal cap, which turns Mario into a metal invincible. It's kind of like the star, but it turns metal. So you go into this other location called Hazy Mace Cave, which is deeper down in the castle. And what you do is you basically go down to the deepest depth of the cavern. You find this oil pool that you jump into, and you collect 8 red stars, 8 red coins for a star, and you activate the metal cap. And then there's one more hidden cap called I guess the invisible cap. It makes you basically certain attacks like fire pass through you, and you can go through certain walls. So you actually have to lower the water in the moat, I think it's called. The water between the castle and the land, basically. You go through one of those holes and you activate that. And there are some other secret stars you can get from Toad, which is this Mario kind of mushroom character. And you can catch a bunny in the labyrinth, and there is the cap stars, and then Princess Slide, and the bonus stage with the 8 red coins. So that's the whole point. Gameplay. You collect stars to unlock doors to beat the final form of Bowser. So I think you only need like 70 stars to actually beat him. But there's 120 stars all in all. It's not necessary to beat the game necessarily, but there is like this bonus thing you can get via a cannon in the castle courtyard up to the roof, where you can talk to Yoshi and get 100 ups. But at this point it's more or less an Easter egg and it's meaningless. Well, anyway, the control. The crosshair does nothing. The stick moves Mario around. So this is the first Mario game that went into 3D. So it was kind of experimental. So I actually played this back in the day at a local toy store. And I came like from playing Super Nintendo and Nintendo and Game Boy. And I picked up the controller. This is cool, Mario in 3D. And I used the crosshair. It didn't move. And I was so confused. The crosshair does nothing. And actually just the stick in the middle, the thumbstick, moves Mario. That's kind of funny. And that's also one of the things that always break on the Nintendo 64 controller, the joystick. For some reason, it's like really weak. So there's this kind of thing. All the 64 controllers that I've seen in my friend's house and whatever, they're like tilted in a little angle. They're not straight. This is partially due to one of the game breakers. One of the games that literally breaks 64 controls, Mario Party. So you have this rowing game, and you kind of have to spin the joystick in a certain direction, and it kind of grinds it down, it kind of breaks it. Anyway, sidetracked. And the left trigger does nothing. The right trigger centers the camera behind Mario, and the camera is one of the most people complain about this game. Since it's the first transitioning from Mario to 3D, you're gonna have some camera issues. But I don't have a particularly big problem with it, because you can always use the C buttons, those yellow buttons, to kind of maneuver the camera as you want. You can always reset it with R and push back down on the yellow down C button, whatever. You get a big perspective that is always centered behind Mario. So I don't understand why people have such a problem with it. But then again, I grew up with the game, so I'm kind of used with I get the control, I guess. And then you have the trigger, the C trigger button, which is on the bottom of the controller. So you use that to crouch or crouch walk, and you can also do a long jump and a ground pound with it. And then you have the standard A jumps and B kind of hits things. And you can do like multiple jumps, and you can do wall jumps and all these things if you time your jump correctly, basically. And graphics. Well, the game was the first of its kind. Mario's first entrance to the 3D realm, so to speak. So Mario looks very jagged around the polygon edges, and it's not really that nice. But I mean, it's one of those kind of cartoony games, so it's kind of okay. It gets the point across. I mean, you can still play this today and find it enjoyable. And the music, well, it's classic. It's kind of those, when it comes on in the background, you kind of hum it. But Mario music has always been like happy and cheerful, so I guess. The sound effects in the game, they are cartoony, I guess. And that isn't necessarily bad, but it fits the mood and the vibe of the game. So, I mean, in conclusion then, this is a game you must play if you have a 64, or at least tried it. It's like one of those first entries in the 3D realm, and maybe even like how Nintendo kind of started experimenting with their own hardware on the 64. I mean, it's one of those games you pretty much have to play. There is no excuse not to. I mean, you can pick this game up for relatively cheap, and it's on the 3DS and the Switch, so there's no excuse. Well, anyway, thanks for watching, and take care.